All right. Hopefully, I can be seen pretty well. And everyone can hear me by the looks of things. Awesome. We'll get started. Sorry, just had to get everything all nice and, perfect for some live streaming because I'm very particular. Just let Bede know so he can watch. At least I'll have one viewer if Bede watches. So, hello everybody. This is Super Marcey right here on the Super Network YouTube channel. And if you're watching or you come find this video later, please subscribe because it helps us out a lot. It means you like our content, you want to see what else we're doing. It is really hard to kind of take off on YouTube or, for people to discover you and everything. So we would definitely love and appreciate if you would subscribe, like the video, watch some of our videos, give it a chance. If you've never listened to any of our podcasts, give it a shot. It would be awesome. Like, why not? Why wouldn't you do that? So yes, please, absolutely 100% do that. And I'm not sure if anyone's watching, but we'll start in like 1 minute or so. But we'll start properly, I suppose. If that makes sense, right? Yeah, I think so. I'm a little, out of it right now. But that's fair enough. I get a bit weird doing these because I have no idea what's going on. But, all good. Just make sure it's all out there in the world. And yeah, I guess that's the thing with these live streams. I'll probably, when it's on there properly, it'll be edited. This bit won't even be in there. So, yeah. All right, it's 7:30, so let's get started. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Movies That Make Marcey right here on the Super Network YouTube channel. I'm, of course, Super Marcey. And in the chat room for this is Bede. Hi, Bede. How you going, mate? Good. Awesome. So, it is still, as I'm recording this, it's still June. That means Junesploitation, which is making June an exploitation movie watching month. And both Bede and myself, along with countless others, have been watching exploitation movies, a different one every single day. Amazingly, I am up to date. But to keep in with the theme, I thought we'll have something within that you'd at least consider exploitation in some way. And I'll talk about those kinds of movies that have helped make me who I am today. So I thought, you know what? Showgirls is a movie I've wanted to talk about for this show for quite a while, but I just haven't gotten around to it. And you know what? It is kind of exploitative in many ways, especially in the nudity and strippers and craziness department. So for me, it fits 100% for the Junesploitation theme. And so I if anyone who knows me or has known me for any amount of time, you know that I absolutely love Showgirls. Showgirls is an incredible film. Don't ever tell me it's not amazing, because it is. So truth be told, at least in regards to Showgirls, I do actually consider this a good movie. I don't technically think it's a bad movie, which might be surprising because people do say it's one of the worst movies, blah, 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 blah. I actually think there's a lot to Showgirls that people don't quite notice, but I do genuinely think it's a good movie. I think every little aspect that has gone into Showgirls was on purpose. I am sure that Verhoeven knew what he was doing with how he directed every little bit of this film, and that's what we got. It is a mess. There's no doubt about that. It can be very much a mess. There are certain things that don't make any sense. This is not how female characters, or females rather, interact with each other normally. But I mean, to be fair, there's a whole thing in Showgirls about nails, and it is the one thing I actually relate to because I need nice, perfect nails. I am very, I don't know what the right word is. I'm so particular. I need my nails done, so you can see, they're all nice and done. I've always kind of been that person who has the nice nails, but I get them done, at the salon. I used to try and do them myself. I also really like chips, so Showgirls has that, right? And a burger, fries, and soda, or aka Coca-Cola. Yep, that's me. I love that. probably why I'm not a skinny person, because I love my junk food and I don't do weird dance routines at Vegas like they do in Showgirls. But I'm getting kind of off topic. It is a mess of a movie, but I do still think it's a good movie. There's a lot of themes, there's a lot of things going on, and I think if you dive in deep, you will, come out of it a different experience. But yes, Bede, pure doggy chow exploitation, for sure. For sure. So the thing is, Bede, and everyone else, Showgirls is quite a fun and silly movie as well. Now, I didn't say, I can think a movie is good, but it not have sort of all weird things. It does. Again, things that don't work, some questionable decisions, but I digress. That's not what I mean. But Showgirls is a fun movie. There's, the dialogue. There's the scenes. There's the fact that Nomi Malone is this character who makes no sense. And all she does is crack the shits, which for anyone who's not an Aussie means she just, has a tantrum, gets angry. These things are amazing. We love these things. We love the ridiculousness of Showgirls. And, it's meant to be this kind of, expose almost on, this showgirl business in Vegas. But I don't know if that's quite what we got in the end. But, it is what it is. There's just so much about this movie to love. It's so quotable. You can act out the scenes. Again, you can just pretend you're Nomi and Crystal talking about doggy chow. Apparently, these two characters ate doggy chow when they were children. Go figure, right? This is why I sometimes mention right for women, but that's not the point. So how did Showgirls actually make me who I am? I think this movie, defined... It defines... I had the word in my head now, I've forgotten. It defines campy. It is the very definition. And I probably, when I saw this, maybe I had seen some kind of campy movies, Plan 9 from Outer Space, all that kind of stuff. But I think this made me embrace this kind of, camp and cheese and goofiness. So much so, I went out and watched a whole bunch of stripper movies, Strip Tease and... all sorts, and I was like, okay, yeah, I can appreciate these, they're silly. But Showgirls, I think, is right up there, because it is the camp, a classic that it is. But again, as I said, I do think it is genuinely a good movie, it has some good aspects, so I do think that as well. But I definitely opened my eyes to so much more in terms of, campy movies, silly movies people consider bad, but highly entertaining. Showgirls definitely helped me get there, and I think I first saw it would have been in my very early 20s. It might have been back in the day, the very early days of, the Empire Magazine forum, and I would believe it was probably, Steven, maybe? He used to go by Big Bada Boomba back in the day. This is going back, years, mate, years. I do believe he had sort of told me about it, and I went out of my way to go and watch this movie, and I was in love so much because it's fucking amazing. But it was because of that, I think, I saw this film, and I own several different copies on DVD, Blu-ray, and I was so excited for the Blu-ray to come out because it looks so much trashier on Blu-ray. It's fucking amazing. I cannot even begin to tell you how many times I've seen Showgirls, because this movie means that much to me. It makes me who I am. If you're going to associate a movie with Marcey, Showgirls is on that list. And I know so many other people who love this movie, and I've shown people, I've been like, you need to watch Showgirls. If you don't like Showgirls, go away. But generally, they do. So, I've made some amazing friendships, like my friend Harrison, who's been on the podcast a few times. I think we actually became friends. It wasn't long after I think I moved to Melbourne. I didn't really have many friends, but he heard one of the Showgirls podcasts and messaged me, and we just became mates, and we went and met up in the city, hung out. We've watched this movie together, we talk about it, it's amazing. And when there was, production on a Showgirls 2, which one of the stars of this film, Rena Rifle, decided to make, like her sort of Showgirls 2, that led me to become friends with a lovely person called Brad Mayo Cristobal. He was in Showgirls 2, and we became very good friends. And when I was in the US, we actually got to meet up. We reenacted scenes. You know, even if we don't talk as much as we used to, we're still pretty good friends. So this film just kind of has that effect. Like, I've made friends from it. I've shown Bede this movie. I think I was like, Bede, watch Showgirls. I remember making so many people watch Showgirls because it is amazing. And I am just literally rambling on about Showgirls because I just love this movie. This movie defines who I am in some ways. I see bits of myself in these characters. You know, when something doesn't go my way, I will have a Nomi tantrum. There's no doubt about that. Bede, I'm sure you can, you know, attest to that. But I probably more identify with Crystal Connors because she's a badass. She takes no shit from anyone. You know, amazing. But funnily enough, actually, during my Junesploitation viewing, and actually while I have this conversation with my 2 viewers that might be watching as this is live, if you have any questions for me to answer about Showgirls, get them in now and I'll tell my story. So, with Junesploitation this month, I saw 2 films that I am pretty sure inspired Showgirls in some way because there are similarities that are just amazing. So, the first one was one that was produced by Roger Corman called Unholy Rollers, which is from the 70s. It's kind of like this expose on roller derby back then. So the main character is called Karen Walker, and Karen Walker is a Nomi Malone. She's this tough, badass chick who, you know, when she joins this derby team, everyone's kind of like, they don't like her, they don't want her there, but she's ready to, what's the right thing? She's ready to climb up the ranks of this derby team and be the most popular one and get rid of the, you know, Crystal Connors, so to speak, of the film. And Karen does the same thing as Nomi. She cracks the shits. She has those tantrums, like, wow. It is so similar. Like, I think this was an inspiration. Like, if you love Showgirls, watch Unholy Rollers and try not to tell me that these films are so similar. And actually, someone else is viewing. Film Nut 79. Hello. Much love with for joining, and you know, I love a Showgirls, and apparently Showgirls is in 4K and it looks beautiful. I'm gonna need that 4K like right now. I need to see that trash glory because when it was in Blu-ray, holy shit, was that incredible. And what was I going? Yes, the other film I watched for Junesploitation that was like, oh my god, Showgirls is a remake of this in a way. Oh fuck, what was it called? Satan in High Heels from the 60s. With a main character that kind of flees, and I think in that film she goes to New York. So not Vegas like in here, but New York. And she kind of manipulates her way into getting to this nightclub singing gig, and everyone is obsessed with this woman. Like the lady who runs the nightclub, the boss's son, like everyone. She's got an ex-husband in there. But the way she acts and uses her sexuality to get what she wants, it's so Showgirls. It really is. And by the end, you know, her past catches up with her. And then, you know, she's got to leave and start all over again, kind of like Nomi was going to Hollywood. In the sequel, we never got, which I really wish we did. But those 2 films, and that was Satan in High Heels and Unholy Rollers, absolutely recommend these films if you love Showgirls because there are similarities. It's really interesting to wonder, like, were these inspirations or is this some crazy weird coincidence? Like, it's weird to think. But again, I don't have any questions yet, so please get in any questions you want to ask me about Showgirls, because Showgirls is awesome, as we've said. Some other things I love about Showgirls. Kyle MacLachlan's hair is incredible. As Bede would say, it's emo Peter Parker hair. And I look, he's not the best actor, but he's kind of weirdly enjoyable for this asshole character of Zach. For me, though, Gina Gershon and Elizabeth Berkley absolutely 100% own this film. But everyone else is memorable in their own way. Like, who could ever forget Henrietta Bazoom? Like, where's my Showgirls Origins Henrietta Bazoom? I need her backstory. And, Robert Darby as, the cheetah club owner. He went from James Bond villain to Maniac Cop 2 to Showgirls. It's kind of awesome. Alright, so Beat has a question. How many times do you think you've seen Showgirls? Look, this would rank up there as having seen it at least 30 to 40 times. Like, I honestly can't remember because I've seen Showgirls that many fucking times. And that's over, when did I see this film? Maybe 2005 or so? So it would have been out for 10 years. So that's like 16 years of watching this film to, have under my belt. So there you go. I've definitely seen it like quite a lot. And again, just my obsessions. I love quoting this movie. It's like, you want to go to Versace? I got this at Versace. You are a whore, darling. Like, hello. This is how I live my life. Showgirls is how I live my life. Like, legit. I think it's such an entertaining movie. It is everything about it. I just can't, there's nothing I really fault. If I could change one thing, I would definitely not have that, you know what scene I'm talking about with Molly? That wouldn't be in there, or at least if you wanted that in there, it wouldn't be that graphic, because it takes you out of the whole experience, and you're still recovering when you get one of the greatest scenes in the film, which is when Nomi does Nomi Fu to bash the shit out of Andrew Carver because he's a pig and disgusting. But Molly is the most pure and innocent character in the film. And they do something so horrendous to her to strip all that innocence away. And I think that, that's kind of like the idea, is that you go to this town and everything that you have of your humanity is stripped away. Beat has a couple more questions. Thank you, Beat. And yes, Henrietta is stunning. What other film makes perfect double feature with Showgirls? Well, I did talk about Satan in High Heels and Unholy Rollers. Unholy Rollers, I think, more would make a really good double feature. And Striptease would definitely make a good double feature. And as I talked about on the Schlock and Awe podcast that I was a guest on, I paired that with the Neon Demon. So I also think that makes for an interesting double feature. I mean, you could even put All About Eve in here. Let's not forget that. Definitely works. Like, the two lead, females, like, warring, I guess. They kind of work. So, yeah, they're definitely ones I would say make for good double features. What's the most underrated Showgirls quote? That's a good one. I don't know. Every line in this movie is, like, so known, I guess. Maybe when Al says to Nomi, it must be weird not having anyone come on you. That's definitely underrated. We don't quote that nearly enough. Yeah, well, Film Nut was a bit naughty and watched it when they weren't old enough. I actually have a distinct memory of being at the video store. This is in maybe the late 90s, and my dad was trying to find something that he could watch, and he picked up Showgirls, and I go, Dad, I've heard that's, like, not a good movie, because I hadn't seen it at that point, because, I was 14, 15. And he goes, no, this one's meant to be good. It's that Demi Moore one that's meant to be shit. I can't remember what he thought of it, but I know why he rented something like Showgirls. Why anyone would rent a movie like Showgirls? To see boobies. So, yeah. But it did take me a little bit to see it. Because I guess you hear this reputation that it's, like, really bad. But then it just takes someone to be like, oh, it's not really, like, bad. It's kind of amazing. You should watch it. There's so much going on in this movie. And definitely, 100%. And there was a book, and I believe Harry bought it for me for my birthday or something years ago. I believe it's called It Doesn't Suck. And it's like an essay about Showgirls. It goes so in depth. I recommend that because it does sort of go more in depth of that mirroring theme, which you could definitely see is in this movie how Crystal and Nomi kind of mirror each other, but you also see visually mirrors a lot during the film. Definitely check that out. Now, I've been rambling here for like 20 minutes about Showgirls. I could ramble on about Showgirls for like a million years. Let's face it, it is beautiful. I can't answer your question, Film Nut. I'm sorry. I absolutely cannot answer that. I have no idea. I don't know if there's anything else I can say that hasn't been said about Showgirls. I don't want to sit here for hours, like, just boring people on a Sunday night. But, yeah, well, you know, before I do anything else, just bring it up because we do this. Our sponsor for our content is Surfshark VPN. So if you do or are looking for a VPN, Surfshark VPN, it's one that Beat and I both use, and we have nothing but amazing things to say. It gets us into all those film libraries we're not able to get to, so it does come in handy, especially for something like Junesploitation or 31 Days of Horror. It's made life so much easier, and it works so well. It's good for your online privacy, so, you know, if you want to show some support for us, but also get 81% off a 2-year subscription, which is damn well worth it, use our link, which I believe is in the show notes. It is surfshark.deal/supernetwork. Check that out if you want to get a wicked, well-functioning VPN. And with that out of the way, I don't know if there was any more questions, because there's like, you know, 1 or 2 people watching. I don't know. I'm talking about Showgirls. There should be 1 billion people watching this, damn it. But yeah, again, the focus of this series is kind of my own reflection of the films that have made me who I am. But I think it's important, you know, other people might think, what movies have made me? So I'm pretty sure there's quite a lot who would put Showgirls on the list. It's one of those films that just cheers me up on a bad day. I can put it on, I can sit back, I can relax. And I'm definitely sorry you're in lockdown. And I'm glad I can cheer you up by talking about Showgirls. Unfortunately, you know, some places are in lockdown, and lockdowns fucking suck. You know, I can't even remember. I've spent, 5-6 months in lockdown over the last year and a half in some kind of really strict lockdown. And it's made me a hermit. It really has. I don't like going outside. I didn't like going outside beforehand. But while we've had lockdowns and dealt with lockdowns, I have, I think Beat and I did introduce our good friend Hayley to Showgirls, and I'm pretty sure she owns it now. But, you know, we've been able to introduce this film to other people, and, you know, Beat hadn't seen this movie until I told him to, and he thinks it's fucking amazing. Do I think it would be a good double feature with The Lonely Lady? I have not seen The Lonely Lady off the top of my head that I can think, so maybe? I don't know. I can't answer that. Showgirls could be a great double feature with anything, let's be fair. You could pair Showgirls up with Citizen Kane, and it would be an amazing time. Like, there's no doubt about it. Showgirls is the fucking best. It really is. It is one of my all-time favourite movies. I love it. Everyone should watch Showgirls. Nomi and Crystal are my icons. There's no doubt about that. 100%. So, I'll probably wrap this up because I've been rambling for way too long and I need a drink. Not because I'm talking about Showgirls. But thank you to whoever has watched the live stream and to whoever watches this in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate all your support and love, everything else. Hopefully I will be back next week. I'm trying to do these and release them on a Saturday. I just have not had time. I've been so busy with everything. That's why it's a live video. I may, you know, come back Saturday and do another live video. I don't know. I don't even know what my next one will be, but maybe not on the exploitation subject. Probably something else. I'll think about it. And there's definitely, you know, a lot of A lot of films still yet to be discussed. But I'm glad I've got to speak about Showgirls. I'm glad that I did it live because it's amazing. And I love the little thing I've made for the video. It's like Nomi and Crystal are looking at me and they desire me so. Awesome. But yeah, check us out at supermarcey.com. You can find all of our numerous amazing podcasts. The Super Podcast, the King Zone Podcasters of Horror, the Ozploitcast, and the To Be Tuesdays podcast on all major podcasting streaming platforms, and of course they're at supermarcey.com. You can find me personally at twitter.com/supermarcey. You can find the Super Network at twitter.com/SM_Super Network. You can find the Super Network on Facebook. So we are there and around. And until next time, I've been Super, and this is not a Versace because I'm